And this game just got a whole lot more interesting with that goal right there from the Bulldogs. Eagles now only lead by a score of 2-1. And now Carter Smith almost giving up possession of the puck there for the Eagles. Eagles now appear a little flustered. Now they regain composure and look to break out here. That was Dylan Vidmar who lost possession of the puck. He's got it now. Once again, back behind the net. Vidmar plays it off to Smith. That goes off a stick. Smith now once again picks up possession for the Eagles and dumps it in. And now the Bulldogs will have it along the near side. Now Garvey has it, and Eagles working into the middle. And that was a phenomenal save once again made there by the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have played good hockey early in this one, as we will get the icing call here and an Eagles offensive zone faceoff. Eagles now have it in their own defensive zone. They'll try to break out. That's Leo Smith with the puck. Smith, the sophomore for this Eagles squad, trying to win that possession of the puck back behind the net here. That was Pawinski who lost control of the puck there for the Eagles, and Statanik will not allow for the icing, trying to get the Eagles to break out of the defensive zone here. Eagles now have it along the near side boards. That's Danny Jopek. And Jopek just gives it 100% of the time. One of my favorite players to watch out on the ice for this Eagles squad. Now that's Brendan Bodie. He tried to fire a shot in. That went just wide of the net. Eagles have had a lot of scoring opportunities early, just not quite able to capitalize as much as they would like to. And Danny Jopek almost did right there, as he was in the right place at the right time. But the goaltender for the Bulldogs making a great save to keep this score at 2-1 Eagles. And once again, we'll have an Eagles offensive zone face-off here. Eagles coming into this one off the heels of that 6-0 victory against the Parma Redmen on Sunday. I was able to have the pleasure to call that one here from the John M. Cone Rec Center here in Brooklyn, and that was wonderful to watch two teams that had great respect for each other. Parma will be closed after this season, so there will be no more hockey, no more sports for that school, and it was a great display of sportsmanship from the Eagles squad. And now the Bulldogs mounting their own offense. They're also coming off a victory. That win over a Strongsville team, and they tried to play it into the middle. A great job defensively by the forward for the Eagles, Kellen Eisnagel. And that was a little dangerous right there. That puck going off the boards behind the net went out in front, and Statanik forced to cover up there for the Eagles. Eagles up by a score of 2-1, as now they'll have it back behind the net. They'll work it near side. That's Schmidt here for the Eagles. Schmidt now gets it back off to Smith. Carter Smith now working it up ice to Bell. Bell tried to make a move but lost control of the puck. Statanik now will play it back behind the net for the Eagles. And Zach Bell, one of the senior captains on this squad, had an absolutely phenomenal game earlier this season against De La Salle of Michigan, when he had 2 goals in that game, was ultimately able to win the game for the Eagles. And Jeff Lapsevich also had 2 goals in that game. Those are going to be the players to watch here in this one as the Eagles take on the Bulldogs of Olmsted Falls. Eagles up by a score of 2-1. We have just 3 minutes left to play here in the first period. And once again, we'll get the Eagles offensive zone draw. Bulldogs were able to defeat Strongsville by a score of 6-5. So this Bulldogs offense certainly gonna try to look to get something going as they have early and keep that momentum going, as they've already found the back of the net once in this game against the Eagles. Eagles have the puck along the near side. That now goes out of the zone. Puck will be chased for now. Eagles have it. That's Vidmar working it up ice, but Jeff Lapsevich was unable to control it, and a big hit put on there by one of those Eagles forwards, and will once again get an Eagles offensive zone draw. I've been saying that a lot thus far today, but the Eagles unable to capitalize as much as they would wish thus far. Eagles lead by a score of 2-1. We've got about 2.5 minutes to go here in the first period. Eagles try to win possession of the puck, unable to do so. And once again, we will get the icing call. We'll send it back down to the other side of the ice. Eagles 2, Bulldogs 1 here on your Eagles Sports Network. I'm Cody Wagner. I'll be bringing you this action between the Eagles and the Bulldogs, just as I did Sunday between the Redmen and the Eagles when the Eagles won that game 6-0. Eagles now trying to win possession here. They're forced to retreat back into the defensive zone. That's Whitesell. Whitesell now losing possession of the puck. The Eagles now will be forced to play some defense here. And Whitesell putting a nice hit on back behind the net, and now Zopo working it out of the defensive zone. Now Danny Jopek trying to get some offense going, and with the offsides warning coming, the Eagles having to tag up and not playing as much pressure there, but now Pawinski able to take away the puck, but it was taken out of the hands of Pawinski. This puck moving around everywhere early, and now Olmsted Falls has possession. They'll try to work it back behind the net. Now the Eagles have it here. Eagles working it up ice. That's Logan Kleiber. Kleiber dumps it in. Jopek will race for the puck for the Eagles. Jopek was unable to control it. Now it's Leo Smith off to Jopek. Smith and Jopek working behind the net together. Now Jopek has it here for the Eagles. The lefty has it behind the net. He gets out to Kleiber. That shot was blocked. Kleiber has it once again, working it to Smith in front of the net. And the delayed penalty is going to come on Olmsted Falls, and so we'll get an Eagles power play here nearing the end of this first period. We got just under a minute left to play in the first period, and the Eagles will go on the power play. It'll be Bell out there. He'll be in alongside Seamus Kennedy, Logan Kleiber, AJ Zopo, and number 14, that is Carter Smith. Smith now off to Bell. Bell has it. He's in at defenseman for this power play. This is what a lot of these new school teams have been doing, and in the NHL, if you watch any of those games, they'll go one of these defensemen as a forward so they can get as many offensive opportunities as possible, and you see that here for the Eagles. That was Zach Bell from the defensive position trying to throw it in, and now Logan Kleiber does it for the Eagles. His second goal of the game. Logan Kleiber getting it done early for this Eagles squad. Put them up 3-1, and Olmsted Falls will now exit the penalty box with that goal from the Eagles. Eagles up by a score of 3-1. Just 30 seconds remain here in the first period. It's Kreitzer who wins that faceoff. Now Bell has it. He's going through the neutral zone here for the Eagles. Bell lost control of the puck, trying to regain it as Zach Bell. Now the Bulldogs have it, and they throw a shot in. Satanic able to knock that away. Now Patrick Garvey trying to gain possession of the puck. It goes to Kreitzer. Kreitzer off to Bell. Bell's got 4 seconds left. He'll fire a slap shot on net, and looking for that rebound was Ryan Schmidt right in front of the net. He wasn't quite able to capitalize, and that will bring us to the end of the first period. Eagles 3, Bulldogs 1 on your Eagles Sports Network. We'll catch you after the break. Hello, and we welcome you back in from John M. Combe Rec Center here in Cleveland, Ohio, as the Eagles of St. Edward make their way back out onto the ice. I'm Cody Wagner here on the Eagles Sports Network, here to bring you this game between your Eagles of St. Edward and the Bulldogs of Olmsted Falls. So far, the Eagles up on top early, 3-1. That one goal from the Bulldogs coming on a one-on-one opportunity against goaltender Johnny Statanik. Statanik unable to find the puck on that opportunity, and a nice stick move made by the player for Olmsted Falls. But other than that, it has been all Eagles early in this one. 2 goals for the Eagles have come off the stick of Logan Klaber. Number 4 out there for the Eagles has played both center and defenseman throughout the season for the Eagles and gets it done on both sides of the puck. We'll see if it's more to come in the second period from Klaber. In that first period, it was also a goal coming from number 12, Tristan Pawinski. Pawinski found himself right in front of the net and got that deflection for the goal. The original shot came from Carter Smith. Pawinski ended up getting that goal for the Eagles, and that brings us to the score we have at the moment. Eagles 3, Bulldogs 1 on the Eagles Sports Network. The Eagles coming into this one off the heels of that 6-0 victory against the Parma Redmen on Sunday, and the Bulldogs have still not made their way back out onto the ice. And we'll see if they come out soon. There's just 30 seconds left in this intermission. Bulldogs still nowhere to be found, but the Eagles thus far have looked great, and we'll see if it's some contribution from some of these senior leaders in this second period who have been quiet thus far in this game. Players such as Zach Bell, Ryan Schmidt, Ethan Kreitzer, Seamus Kennedy, all those guys, nothing to show for on the score column as of yet. We'll see if they can get going here in this second period of action as the Bulldogs now make their way back out onto the ice. And for the Eagles to begin this second period, it will be the lineup they started with. Kreitzer out there with Bell and Schmidt, and then the defenseman will be Garvey out there with the freshman Carter Smith. Smith now has it for the Eagles. He'll dump it into the offensive zone. In net out here for the Eagles today is Johnny Statanik. Statanik, in the first game of the season against Gilmore, had a 93.8 save percentage in that game. Was so impressive throughout that one, making saves all night in that close game that was ultimately won by the stick of Jeff Lapsevich. We'll see if Lapsevich can produce for this Eagles squad here today. Now Eagles have it along the near side. That's Kreitzer moving behind the net. He tried to look for Bell in the middle. Bell slipped. Uncharacteristic there from Zach Bell. The Eagles now forced to reset in the defensive zone as the first line comes off the ice for the Eagles. There is Jeff Lapsevich. He'll fire a shot on net. Now the Bulldogs have it in their own defensive zone, and we'll get the icing call and an offensive zone draw here for the Eagles just a minute into this second period. Other than the one goal surrendered, the Eagles have really been flawless throughout this one, as they were in that first round game against Parma on Sunday, and a stick goes flying. That's the stick of a Bulldog, and now that's the Eagles having possession along the far side. Unable to control it was Ethan Whitesell, and now one of the Eagles sticks goes flying. And now the Bulldogs will dump it back behind the net. Statanik forced to play the puck, and meeting of bodies back behind the net. Eagles ultimately come away with possession. They're now streaking through neutral ice, but they lose possession. And Olmsted Falls plays it off the boards, and an icing call will come. Eagles offensive zone face-off here. A minute and a half into the second period of action. Your Eagles 3, Bulldogs 1, here from John M. Cone Rec Center in Brooklyn. This is the quarterfinal, district quarterfinal, second round of the playoffs here for the Eagles as they play it back behind the net. That's Leo Smith. Olmsted Falls coming into this one on the heels of a victory on Sunday. They played right after the Eagles won against Parma. The Bulldogs taking a 6-5 win against Strongsville. So there's no question that the Bulldogs can get it done offensively, but question remains if they can do anything defensively to stop this Eagles squad. As that was Joe Peck who had it on the stick now. Puck goes to Joe Peck. That goes off the leg of a Bulldogs defender, and we will once again have the Eagles offensive zone draw. We've got 12 and a half minutes remaining here in the second period. Eagles remain on top 3-1. And just one of those vintage wins earlier this season, as I mentioned earlier, was that one against Gilmore, and it can just not be overstated how big of a win that is. Getting that win back from that state semifinal rematch from last season, beating the team that ultimately went on to be the state champion, but really the team that is going to be extremely worrisome this year is the Wildcats of St. Ignatius. The Eagles lost the first meeting by a score of 4-1, and Patrick Garvey slid a shot on net there. Is a high-quality shot right from the slot, but unable to capitalize was Garvey. And now the Eagles will be forced to retreat back into the defensive zone. And now it's Blaksevich trying to play the puck. He was unable to control it. And now the Eagles will try to chase for the puck. And there's a big hit by Eisnagel for the Eagles. Now Eagles chase for the puck. That was Carter Smith trying to make good on a poke check. Now the Eagles have possession of the puck. They've got one-on-one with a defender. That was Joe Peck, who couldn't quite control the puck. And now the Eagles forced to play some defense here as the Bulldogs come down the ice. They'll try to play it in the middle. Unable to control the puck were the Bulldogs. Now Joe Peck once again has the puck on the stick for the Eagles. He gets hit from behind. Eagles try to throw it in right in front of the net, and that puck's up for grabs. And now the Eagles will have to move out of the offensive zone, and they'll dump it in here behind the net. And they'll play the puck near side. Eagles trying to win possession. They do, and they try to get it off to number 17, not on the roster for this Eagles squad. Eagles now have it behind the net. It was Zopo who had it for a moment. Now Eagles played in the middle. That's Kreitzer. Kreitzer playing it. Now he's got it on the stick. He'll play it in the middle, and he had a man, I believe that was Grayson Drago of the Eagles, who was right in front of the net. The Bulldogs goaltender was on his side but was able to make a stop and cover up the puck. Eagles still up 3-1 here. 4.5 minutes into the first period. Ethan Kreitzer battling for that puck. Now Bell has it right in front of the goaltender. Unable to capitalize as Bell. He picks back up possession. Eagles now have it. It's Kreitzer. Now it's Bell. Bell trying to gain possession. Bell this season has 24 points. 15 of those being goals, my apologies. 9 off assists. And Bell was looking for the deflection in front of the goal. The stats for Bell on this season, it's 14 goals and 9 assists, 23 points for Bell. So he's been a major part of this Eagles squad, the leading scorer throughout this season. And we'll see if he can get something going here today against the Bulldogs. One of those signature performances was when Bell was able to get 4 points in one game earlier this season against Shaker Heights. And if he can produce a performance of that magnitude as we continue on in these playoffs, that would be huge. And he just made a great pass to Ryan Schmidt in front of the net. Schmidt not quite able to control it, and Bell will take a shot of his own, but he was unable to capitalize, and we will get the icing call here and an Eagles offensive zone faceoff. Eagles up 3-1. We got about 9.5 minutes left to go here in the second period. It's been all Eagles early here from the John M. Cone Rec Center here in Cleveland, Ohio. And Centers glide into the circle. Eagles win it. They've got possession behind the net. That's Seamus Kennedy, number 6 for the Eagles, one of the more physical players for this Eagles squad. Jeff Lapsevich just slipped there, unable to maintain possession of the puck, and the Eagles forced to work defensively now. That's Garvey who's got it in the defensive zone here for the Eagles. Now Lapsevich picks it up, and now trying to work in front with Seamus Kennedy. Kennedy unable to find the back of the net there for the Eagles. And now Garvey has it. He was looking for the deflection from Lapsevich. Lapsevich will play it off to Kennedy, and they had an opportunity right in front of the net, trying to look for Dylan Vidmar. Vidmar unable to capitalize on that scoring chance. Eagles now will be forced to move out of the offensive zone, and they'll throw it in. Now Eagles chase the puck. They'll have it. That's Dylan Vidmar behind the net. Vidmar working in front of the net now. He's searching for the puck. Eagles now come up with it. That was Garvey. Garvey couldn't get his stick to the puck. And now Eagles trying to gain possession. And this puck has been bouncing around. Eagles forced to clear back out into the neutral zone. Eagles now have it along the near side boards. Stick handling was Smith. He got it off to Leo Smith. It was Carter Smith who had it, the sophomore for the freshman, and he just threw it into the Eagles bench. Teammates not going to be too happy about that one, as we'll get a face-off here in the neutral zone. This Eagles squad led out here today by head coach Tim Sullivan, who has been the mastermind for this Eagles squad over the last couple of years. Last year, falling short in the Frozen Four. The year before, coming so close, but just not quite able to realize a state champion in that 2020-2021 season, as the Eagles try to fire a shot in on net, and a great save made by the goaltender of the Bulldogs, and we'll get the icing call and an Eagles offensive zone face-off. We're halfway through this second period of action. Still no goals have been scored on either side, and we'll get a change in net halfway through this game. It'll be junior Victor Willock coming in for Johnny Statanik. Eagles now trying to win possession here in the offensive zone. They can't quite get it. Now the Bulldogs chasing for the puck. Eagles forced to retreat. That's Whitesell who's got possession. He's moving near side boards. Whitesell loses possession now. Eagles haven't been able to get much going here in the second period. It's not like they haven't had these scoring opportunities, just unable to capitalize in front of the net thus far, and it's been a great job done by the goaltender of the Bulldogs thus far. We'll once again get the Eagles offensive zone draw. It's Bell once again out on the ice with Kreitzer and Schmidt. This is the first line offensively for the Eagles. We'll see if they can get something going. Now it's Kreitzer. Kreitzer tried to play it in the middle. No one there. And now Bell trying to pick it up for the Eagles. And now Logan Klaber, who's had a heck of a game thus far, is out on the ice for the Eagles. Has 2 games thus far in this one. 2 goals, rather, thus far in this one, as they tried to look for Zach Bell in the middle. Bell now has it behind the net. Bell working in front, trying to finish. Zach Bell finds a goal for the Eagles. Make it his 15th on the season. Eagles now go up by a score of 4-1. It just felt like it would take some time, but eventually Bell finds the back of the net for the Eagles. And Bell has had a heck of a season. One of those big performances for him was earlier this season against De La Salle. Had 2 goals in that game and was a special one to call alongside Carmen Angelo. And glad to bring you here this one. I'm Cody Wagner on the Eagles Sports Network. Eagles 4, Bulldogs 1. We continue on here with just over 6 minutes left to play here in the second period. And the icing call will come here on the Eagles. And we'll have now a Bulldogs offensive zone draw. Eagles will be forced to play out of the defensive zone. Not a sentence I've had to utter much thus far today, but is the truth here as the Eagles glide into the defensive zone circle. And Kennedy wasn't able to win the defensive zone draw, and the Bulldogs immediately fired a shot on net, but now the Eagles have possession, and they try to move it up ice, and a pass once again going awry, and the Eagles will once again be forced to play out of the defensive zone. .5:55 left to play in the second period. It's been all Eagles early, just the 1 goal from the Bulldogs coming on that breakout opportunity, the one-on-one with Statanik early in the game. Now Lapsevich had it on the stick. Now Kennedy off to Vidmar. Vidmar knocks the bottle off the top. Dylan Vidmar, goal, Eagles. Dylan Vidmar with 11 goals on the season. He'll put the Eagles up 5-0, and they are starting to run away with this one. In the second period, it's been goal by Bell, goal by Vidmar. Really not too surprising, those two the leading scorers for this Eagles squad. You thought they would start getting going, and they have here in this second period. Eagles have it in the offensive zone now. They are starting to turn it on midway through this second period. We've got just over 5 minutes left to play here in the second. Now Eagles picking it up through neutral zone, and there's nice stick handling from number 26. Was 28, Kellen Eisnagel, the freshman for the Eagles, who has played phenomenal throughout this season. Eagles now dump it in. They chase after the puck, and there's a big hit laid by number 26, George Blaksevich, for the Eagles. And the penalty now will come here on the Bulldogs. This will be the Eagles' second power play of the game. Earlier, capitalizing on a goal was Logan Kleiber for the Eagles. Kleiber, the defenseman, has got 2 goals in this game. And once again, this Eagles squad going with this forward look as Vidmar tries to play it behind the net. Now it's Schmidt. Schmidt has it on the stick. He'll get it off to Lapsevich. Lapsevich now over to Garvey, who tried to play it over to Schmidt. Schmidt was unable to control it on his stick. Now Lapsevich tried to play it into the middle, and the Bulldogs able to clear the defensive zone. Now Garvey forced to play it back in the defensive zone. Eagles looking to work back into that offensive area as now they hit on the cross ice pass. Eagles work back behind the net. That's Vidmar. Vidmar now has it on the stick. He'll get it off to Garvey. Garvey now slides it in the middle, and he gets it for the Eagles. Patrick Garvey, goal, Eagles. That's Garvey's 4th goal on the season. Had one last game and does it again once Again, here in this one against the Bulldogs, Eagles now go up by a score of 6-1. 3 goals coming in the second period. It's been Bell, Vidmar, and Garvey. And once again, they're being active right here. That was Logan Klaber, who has no problem firing his own shots on net. Already 2 in this game that have found the back of the net for Klaber. Eagles now will glide into the circle here. That's Pawinski. Pawinski already having a goal in this game. Eagles now battle for the puck. Now it's Leo Smith. Leo Smith has possession, working behind the net. Leo Smith tried to find Pawinski in front. Couldn't capitalize on that opportunity, and now a shot fired in there by the Eagles. I believe that was Carter Smith. And a nice save made there in the chest of the Bulldogs goaltender. Eagles unable to win this offensive zone draw. Eagles will try to win the puck along the near side boards. Bulldogs fire that puck down ice. Bulldogs made it to the second round of the playoffs. Eagles trying to eliminate them from contention. Bulldogs coming off the heels of a 6-5 win over Strongsville. The offense playing very strong in that game. They fire a shot in on net. That's the first save that's been made by the goalie Victor Willock, who checked in for Johnny Statanik about 4 minutes ago. And with that being his first save, has showed you how dominant the Eagles have been offensively, especially through that middle portion of this second period. Eagles now try to win the faceoff. They do so. Carter Smith now trying to get it over to Ryan Schmidt. Schmidt now playing it up ice to Kreitzer. Kreitzer has it on the stick. Kreitzer stick handling. He's got it now back behind the net. Kreitzer out there along with Bell and Schmidt. And now the Eagles try to fire a shot. That goes just wide. Eagles will once again have it behind the net. That's Bell, who lost possession. Eagles trying desperately to keep it in the offensive zone. They do so. It's Schmidt now off to Bell. Bell right in front of the net. Goal, Eagles. Zach Bell, 2 in the game. Zach Bell now with 16 goals on the season. And he has been nothing short of elite throughout this season. Zach Bell has been so much fun to watch, leading the Eagles in points by 9. That's 25 points on the season for Zach Bell. Whenever 15 is out on the ice, you better watch out, because he's got a good chance of putting one in the back of the net, as he does so there. His second in the second period, as Dylan Vidmar has it back behind the net. We've got 2.5 minutes left to play here in the second period. Jeff Lapsevich now has it. Lapsevich now gets it off to one of the Eagles defensemen. It's Seamus Kennedy off to Lapsevich. Lapsevich trying to work it in the middle. Lapsevich now Vidmar. Vidmar had a good opportunity, but the goaltender able to knock it away with his stick. As now Lapsevich tries to control it along the far side boards. And now the Bulldogs clear the defensive zone. Eagles work into their own defensive zone. That's AJ Zopo who's got possession. He tried to make the up ice pass to number 17, and he throws a shot in on net. Number 17 not on the roster there here today for the Eagles, but shot attempt there forces the cover up from the Olmsted Falls goaltender, and we will have an Eagles offensive zone draw. Zach Bell once again out on the ice, and he tries to lay a big hit along the boards. He's out there alongside Grayson Drago. Bell now slipping, and now that's Sean Sterling here with possession for the Eagles. Number 19 is Sterling. Sterling fires it into the middle. There was no one there. Eagles now forced to retreat. That's Logan Klaber. He'll get off to Bell. Bell now just dumping it in, and Eagles looking to get something going. They chase for the puck. They'll keep it in the offensive zone. They've done this so well throughout this game. And now they fire a shot in on net. That goes just wide. And now Eagles have it moving through the neutral zone. Eagles now have it along the far side. They lost possession of the puck. Eagles now forced to work in their own defensive zone. Bell has possession. And if I know Zach Bell, he wants to get a hat trick here in this game. Already 2 goals thus far as he chases for the puck. We've got just 2 seconds left to play, and that'll be it for the second period. Eagles 7, Bulldogs 1 on your Eagles Sports Network. We'll catch you after the break. Hello, and we welcome you back in from John M. Cone Rec Center here in Brooklyn on your Eagles Sports Network. Eagles lead by a score of 7-1 against the Bulldogs of Olmsted Falls. It's been all Eagles early. The only goal for Olmsted Falls coming on a breakaway opportunity. It was a one-on-one against Statanic. Statanic was not quite able to make the save, but since then, it has been all Eagles. Eagles came away with 4 goals in that second period. It was 2 from Zach Bell, then 1 from Dylan Vidmar, and then 1 from the defenseman Patrick Garvey. And here we go. Your third period of action is underway between the Eagles and the Bulldogs. Eagles trying to punch their ticket into the district semifinals as they take on the Bulldogs. Eagles work the puck back behind the net. Out on the ice for the Eagles is that first line of Kreitzer, Bell, and Schmidt. Schmidt had a goal in that game on Sunday. He'll try to find the net again here today as that shot turned aside there by the Olmsted Falls goaltender, and Patrick Garvey now plays the puck behind the net for the Eagles. Eagles now try to work it up ice. Now that's Ethan Kreitzer. He's got the puck along the near side, working through the middle. Now it's Schmidt who will dump it into the offensive zone and come off the ice for the Eagles. The Eagles now will have it in the defensive zone, and that will be the icing call. We'll get an Eagles offensive zone face-off just a minute into the third period. Eagles 7, Bulldogs 1. It's been all Eagles thus far. We'll see if it continues that way as Tristan Pawinski glides into the circle for the Eagles. Rather, Seamus Kennedy. Kennedy now has it back behind the net. Kennedy both plays for the Eagles on the skates and out on the football field. Kennedy was a star safety for that Eagles state championship squad this season as Jeff Lapsevich tries to skate for that puck, and we'll get an icing call here and an Eagles defensive zone faceoff, which has been so rare throughout this game, and it will come here 2 minutes into the third period. Seamus Kennedy now glides into the circle for the Eagles. Winner of this one will go on to play at First Energy Stadium on Sunday. Rather, that game will be on Saturday night, and that will be a very interesting setting to play that game. And now Jeff Lapsevich finds a goal off the rebound. Jeff Lapsevich, his first of the game. Put him on the board. Eagles 8-1. Lapsevich with his first goal of the game now has 15 goals on the season. Is one behind Bell for leading goal scorer for this Eagles squad. Lapsevich has done it throughout this season offensively. One of the most impressive performances so far this season was against Gilmore when he came away with that game-winning goal for the Eagles in overtime, and ever since then has really shown his worth to this Eagles squad, and he has been elite throughout this season. As the Eagles have it back behind the net here, that's Tristan Pawinski for the Eagles. He'll now play it off. Eagles have it once again back behind the net. Now it's off to Danny Jopek. Jopek now surging through neutral ice into the offensive zone. He gets off to Leo Smith. Smith trying to throw it into the middle. There's no one there. Smith now regains possession for the Eagles. We're just about 4 minutes into this third period. The Eagles already have a goal in the period. Eagles now have behind the net. That's Garvey. Garvey loses possession, and Eagles trying to control it. Now it's on the stick of Jopek. Jopek has it for the Eagles. He's back behind the net. Jopek working now far side boards. He works into the middle, tries to throw a shot in. That's knocked away. Now Garvey has it for the Eagles. The big defenseman for the Eagles has it on the stick. He'll throw a slap shot in. That goes just wide of the net. Now the Eagles have it. That's Willock. Willock for the Eagles is the freshman. Vincent Willock, brother of Victor Willock, who's in net for the Eagles, and the Eagles had an opportunity out in front. They were unable to control it there, and the Eagles now work back behind the net. Now Eagles will go back into their own defensive zone here. That's Victor Willock with the puck on his stick. Eagles now trying to work through neutral ice. Willock will try to get it off to number 26, George Waxovich. Now it's Willock once again. Now it's Garvey. Garvey dumps it into the offensive zone. Eagles race for that puck. Now they'll go back into the neutral zone. Ethan Whitesell now onto the ice for the Eagles. We've got just under 10 minutes left to play in the third period. Eagles now work from their own defensive zone. That's Eisnagel. Eisnagel, the freshman for the Eagles. He's got it in the offensive zone. He fires a shot, and the glove save made there by the goaltender of the Bulldogs. Eagles now battling for possession along the far side. That was Vidmar for the Eagles. The Eagles now have it. That's Eisnagel. Eisnagel, that was deflected off a body. Now Zopo has it for the Eagles. AJ Zopo battling for the puck behind the net. He makes a nice move on a defender. H.A. Zopo still has it. Now he gets it off to Drago. Drago tries to fire it into the middle. Was unable to find the stick of a fellow Eagle. Now it's Vidmar. Vidmar fires a shot. That's turned aside. Now it's Zopo. Zopo up at the point. He's got possession. Now the Eagles work it down. Back up to Zopo. Eagles working this offense very strong here in the offensive zone. Eagles heavy with this pace here in the third period, keeping it in the offensive zone, continuing with this offensive pressure as Willock tried to make the up ice pass to Drago, but Drago was unable to come up with possession of the puck, and the Eagles now will gain possession here in the neutral zone. That's Zach Bell. If I know him, he wants a hat trick here in this one. Bell back behind the net. Already 2 goals in this game. Eagles up 8-1. We've got just under 8 minutes left to play. Ethan Kreitzer has it. He fires a shot in. That turned aside by the goaltender. Eagles keep it in for the moment, and we'll get the offsides call there on the Eagles. We're about halfway through this third period, and at this point we have the running clock as the Eagles are up by more than 5 goals, and so with this running clock, the time will expire very quickly on this one. Eagles up 8-1. And you got to think head coach Tim Sullivan has been very satisfied with the performance he's seen thus far from this squad as they have continued to put the pressure on this Bulldog squad, even continuing into this third period. Kreitzer fires a shot in on net for the Eagles. That's turned aside. And now he fires it into the slot to Bell. Bell had a really good shot on net right in the slot, but kind of just squared up with the goaltender and was unable to find the goal there for the Eagles as they try to set something up offensively. Just 6.5 minutes left to go here in the third period. Eagles up by a score of 8-1. Now the Bulldogs working through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. They still have possession of the puck. Now that's taken away by Lapsevich. Lapsevich up ice pass to Vidmar. Vidmar already a goal in this game. Looks for a second. The save made there by the Bulldogs goaltender. Now it's Smith. Carter Smith passes off to Lapsevich. Now corner Kennedy tries to fire it in. And now it's Willock who fires a shot on net. That turned aside. Seamus Kennedy now has possession. Kennedy, the center here for the Eagles. Now Willock has possession, and he fires a shot on net. Save made there by the Bulldogs goaltender. Eagles up by a score of 8-1, and they'll send some new players out onto the ice. It'll be number 2, Danny Jopek, along with the sophomore Leo Smith. Also out there is Tristan Powinski, and the defensemen joining them are Patrick Garvey and AJ Zopo. Now it is Leo Smith behind the net for the Eagles. He'll get off to Jopek. Jopek trying to control it behind the net. Lost his footing for a moment. Now it's Zopo. Zopo has it right in front of the goaltender. And now that forces the Eagles to work out near neutral ice. Eagles now trying to take away possession. They do so. Patrick Garvey lays a big hit in neutral ice. And the Eagles at this point are trying to proverbially put this game on ice here late. We've got just 4.5 minutes left to play. Eagles up by a score of 8-1 at this point. Extremely unlikely that the Bulldogs will make this comeback, but we will continue to play on here with this running clock. And now we get 4 minutes, 15 seconds left to play in the third period. Your Eagles 8, Bulldogs 1 here on the Eagles Sports Network. Gliding into the circle is Brendan Bodie for the Eagles. Eagles have it now along the near side boards. The Eagles try to control it back behind the net. That's Bodie. He had a goal in the game on Sunday. And now there was a shot from the slot from the Eagles. That went just wide. Now it's Sterling. Sterling passes it off. Now Eagles have it up. That was Klaber. Klaber now has possession of the puck for the Eagles. Throws it towards the direction of the net. Klaber now trying to keep it in the offensive zone, unable to do so. We've got 3.5 minutes now left to play in this game. Eagles up 8-1. If they are able to keep hold of this lead, which they seemingly will be able to, then they'll go on and play in the action on Saturday at First Energy Stadium. That game will take place at 6 p.m. They'll be the last game of the night as Kreitzer has possession here for the Eagles. A very exciting opportunity for these young men to be able to play with at First Energy Stadium. I spoke to player Zach Bell earlier today. He was very excited at that chance to play on a professional field, and normally used for football, but recently you saw it changed into a hockey rink when the Buckeyes and the Wolverines faced off for some college hockey action. Ohio State ultimately winning that game by a score of 4-2 and what ended up being a great game. And so the Eagles will get their own chance to play there on Saturday, as they're going to come away with a win in this one. We still got 2 minutes left to play, but at this point the Bulldogs will be unable to make any substantial comeback in this one, as the Eagles will just try to work out these last 2 minutes off the clock as they work it back behind the net. That's Ethan Whitesell for the Eagles. Number 5 for the Eagles on the season, has come away with 1 goal and 1 assist. Not the most potent offensively, but has been a great defender throughout the season. And talk about an offensive defenseman. There's a man right there, Patrick Garvey, 3 goals in 2 games. It's been a heck of a playoff run for him thus far. Patrick Garvey looking in prime playoff form here early in the playoffs. This the district quarterfinal. On Saturday, the Eagles will play in the district semifinal. As the Eagles play it out in front, that's Garvey once again who's got it. He'll play it off to Jopek. Jopek fires a slap shot on net. That save made there by the Bulldogs goaltender, and Time will continue to run down. Just 50 seconds left in this game. And I've been here with you all day for this one. My name's Cody Wagner here from the John M. Cone Rec Center here in Brooklyn. And it has been a fun game to call here. It's been all Eagles throughout this one. And Eagles now trying to take away this puck in the offensive zone. Now Bulldogs work into their own offensive zone. And Eagles crouch down to make that block. That was Sean Sterling. Now Joe Peck has control of the puck, and he was taken down, and bodies flying late in this one. And we will get a penalty call here on the Eagles, and time will expire. Continue the run. Let's keep it going. Your Eagles of St. Edward 9, Bulldogs 1. We'll see you on Saturday from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Eagles 9, Bulldogs 1 from your Eagles Sports Network.